Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Stephen F. Smith had harsh message for Dak Prescott after Mike McCarthy support. The Dallas Cowboys are a hot mess. They are 5-7 through 12 games. They've won 2 games in a row, despite starting quarterback Dak Prescott being out for the season. Jerry Jones has been the same owner he's always been. Head coach Mike McCarthy is on the hot seat and will more than likely be sacked following the conclusion of the 2024 season. Evidently, the Cowboys don't have a McCarthy problem. They have a talent problem. Even when Prescott was healthy, they didn't make enough moves to equip the team with enough talent to sustain success. McCarthy will be the scapegoat, however. It'll be hard for Jones to admit he didn't make enough moves to equip the team with Super Bowl-level talent. However, the head coach might be in for a 6th season with the club if he can salvage the last bit of the season and carry some momentum into 2025. Recently, at a Dick's Sporting Goods promotion, Prescott gave McCarthy public support. "I believe in him wholeheartedly," Prescott said. "I don't want to necessarily get into the nuts and the screws of it all obviously, but I think he definitely deserves a chance, another contract and a chance to coach this team amongst more influence. On his terms may be a good way to say it. But I wholeheartedly believe in him." This sparked a heavy reaction across social media and across pundits, with one being known Cowboys hater and ESPN's top talent in Stephen F. Smith. Smith took to First Take, sending a harsh message at Prescott after his public support of the head coach. "Why don't you go out there and win for him? Wouldn't be a discussion," Smith said. "Very, very simple. You've been the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys for 9 years. You've got 2 playoff victories to show for it. McCarthy is a decorated head coach with big wins. The Cowboys have lacked playoff success in recent history." Smith has a point. Even before McCarthy arrived, Prescott wasn't bringing postseason wins to the DFW. Next season, assuming McCarthy and Prescott will be working together again, feels like the final attempt at a Super Bowl run together. Then Jones will have to consider serious changes for both of their positions with the club. Cowboys All-Pro reportedly considering retirement. The Dallas Cowboys have lost Zack Martin for the season to an ankle injury, and there is a chance the All-Pro offensive lineman has played his last snap in the NFL. Martin had dealt with a lingering right ankle injury all season, and the 34-year-old will now undergo surgery. Martin said back in June that it was possible the 2024 season would be his last, which is why there has been speculation he will call it a career. Ian Rappaport of NFL Media said on Friday that retirement will definitely be a consideration for Martin. Zack Martin out for the season, having ankle surgery. "That is part of the story. That is not the whole story," Rappaport said. "He's 34 years old. For sure, retirement is a consideration. But as Zack Martin told reporters yesterday, this is not the time for those conversations. He's gonna get a little healthier first to make those conversations a bit easier." Martin is in the final year of his contract with the Cowboys. It is unclear if the team would want him back next season even if Martin did decide to continue playing, though that would likely be dependent on how much money he wanted. Cowboys fans won't like the latest name linked to replace Mike McCarthy. No doubt, Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones has been coy with his plans for the team's coach in 2025, with most presuming that current coach Mike McCarthy, who is in the final year of his contract and probably should not have returned after last season's playoff debacle against the Packers, is just playing out the string down the stretch of this NFL season. Still, Jerry Jones told the fan radio station in Dallas that McCarthy could be in line for an extension to keep him in Dallas, even with the dumpster fire that this 5-7 seasons has been. He doubled down on that sentiment this week. "Quality of character, quality of football character, he's steady as a rock," Jones said, per DallasCowboys.com. "He's genuine, He's no BS with these players, and I've never thought for one second that the team had quit recognizing what an outstanding coach he is. The decisions that Jones has made in the past year does open the notion that there's no telling what he might do next. Still, even for Jones, bringing back McCarthy would be wacky. Cowboys coaching candidates list is long. So, who could the Cowboys bring in? The list of high-profile suspects who have been mentioned is impressive: legendary coach Bill Belichick, collegians Deion Sanders and Kirby Smart, respected retreads Mike Vrabel and Robert Saleh. But let's face it, Jones isn't going there. More likely, the Cowboys are going to find a recognizable coordinator and bump him into the role. Ben Johnson in Detroit is one that comes up often. Perhaps Eric Bieniemy, as he seeks a return to the NFL. Houston's Bobby Slowick. Tampa's Liam Cohen. How about, former Cowboys player and coordinator Kallen Moore? Yes, that Kallen Moore, whose offenses started fast and slowed to a halt each season he was at the helm, 2019-22. The same Kallen Moore who Cowboys fans ran out of town as he consistently failed to make adjustments and settle into a good working relationship with Dak Prescott. Now that he has resuscitated his reputation in Philadelphia, especially if the Eagles continue their current run and land in the Super Bowl, maybe Cowboys faithful will welcome Moore back as a McCarthy replacement. Kallen Moore has thrived with Eagles. That notion was floated at ESPN this week by NFL insider Dan Graziano, who was looking at the top potential head coaching candidates of the offseason. He writes, "A couple of years ago, Moore was a popular enough candidate that he seemed on the verge of landing a head coaching job. The end of his time as the Cowboys' offensive coordinator led to an ill-fated 2023 season in that same job with the Chargers. But he has rebounded in his first season in Philadelphia, designing and calling one of the league's most explosive offenses around Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown and a terrific offensive line." If the Cowboys move on from Mike McCarthy, could Moore be a candidate to return to Dallas in the big job? It's doubtful that Cowboys fans have forgiven Moore for his sins from his time in the job, which would make it a pretty out-of-touch hire on the team's part. Which would make it a very Jerry Jones thing to do.